Over the weekend, several thousand Syrians gathered to demonstrate against their government. At least 5 people were killed when the military broke up the protests with gunfire and tear gas. The protests were sparked by the arrest of 15 children for writing revolutionary slogans on walls. I'm Christina Hartman for AOL News Now. Mourners called for revolution at the funeral of slain protesters. A writer for the Israeli newspaper Haaretz says Syrian protesters could lead to reforms, but the government could also squash the uprising before it gains steam. Contrary to what Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has boasted, his country is not immune to the cries for change that have already toppled leaders in Egypt and Tunisia. But Syria's leadership, like that of Libya or Yemen, has no intention of relinquishing power. The question is how quickly the security forces will act. A journalist from the region writes in Time magazine, "It will be difficult for Syrians to force the government to change, but there is hope." Syria was always going to be a tough nut for pro-democracy activists to crack. It is a country where NGOs and political parties have long been banned, and where dissent, however mild, is viciously crushed. The barrier of fear Syrians must surmount is significant, but then again, so too are the opportunities. An American thinker-blogger suggests the U.S. challenge the Syrian leader and lead a push for reform. From the standpoint of U.S. strategic interests, Assad's Syria is arguably a bigger menace than Gaddafi's Libya. The Syrian government is using a carrot-and-stick strategy to quell the protests, following brute force with concessions, such as releasing the 15 arrested children and cutting the length of mandatory military service by 3 months. I'm Christina Hartman for AOL News Now.